What up, my squeaks? Ruinous Man Thing here with part 14 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Throt the Unclean Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, the betrayal has happened as requested, and the Bonerattlaz have suddenly been attacked by Clan Moulder. And Mutant also had his debut battle with the Doomflayers, which were fun and basically obliterated whatever they came into contact with, which is hardly of any surprise. I do feel like this army could use a little bit more Moulder stuff because it feels a little bit too scryery with a couple of Echelon auxiliaries, maybe a couple more Packmasters, maybe some kind of monsters. But yeah, it's the Packmasters that would be better because otherwise they get in the way of the Doomflayers. But anyway, it's a new turn and we still have we still have a few things to do. First of all, Crocroni, you need to kill Huglug and Arog, and we'll do that in a second. But let's see who else needs to move. Thanquol, you are still moving down here, I guess, so let's move you here, and let's move Pustich to follow. Do we cross you over to Mammoth Boneyard to move to help Skidus? What's the likelihood somebody actually attacks this place? Or we could move you down here to grab Fort Straghoff. Maybe we'll do that. So I don't need to colonize it. Alright, I think that'll work. Let's also give you Inspiring Presence so that you slowly but surely level yourself. Skip twice. You and Absit and Ramamute are all kind of sitting together, so keep on traveling southward where you're going to need to, maybe not quite help against Strika, but at least, you know, be down there. Anyway, Bilefitch, you are sticking around because there's recruitment to do. Mormel, you are finally at last ready to move southward. I'm not falling for this again. Well, then again, they were able to jump from right here, right? So I'm gonna risk it again. Don't screw me on this, Mormel. Alright, should hopefully be good. I just gotta double check that he has a Root Marcher. Yes, he does. Alright, good enough. Good enough. Bilefitch, I just checked. Who else do we have? Remamute? Oh, I just moved you, my bad. Scurry. Why do you exist again? Oh, it's because you have Eshin Discipline, so in theory we could have you be of some use, but in practice, do we need another lord here? I think not. I think there's a reason why we gave you the dregs, so you, for now at least, can go and be reset. And we might bring you back if needed. Anybody else need to move before we fight those poor betrayed Bonerattlaz? Ickbolt, you're headed down to Pradeshina, and I guess that hasn't changed. I guess you can't reach in one turn. Yeah, we need another lord down here. Well, I guess we could make one here or here. Oh, we'll make one here, actually. Let's see. Castle Alexandra. What the heck? Recruit lord is blocked out? Why? And why can't you move? Oh, because you just colonized it? But you should still be able to move out of the settlement into the water, or... Huh. Maybe that's no longer the case. Okay, well, we'll see what happens next turn. Hopefully you're fine. A little bit weird, but sure. And are we ready to fight now? Let's just see here. Hellkeek the Insane. Who are you again? Oh, right, you're a recruiter, or not a recruiter, lord. You're there to pick up some ruins, and then you, Contagia K, are fine. I thought I already moved you. Compule, you're supposed to join probably Ickbolt, right? Yeah, the Giant Palace Skaven saves could probably use Bless with Filth, and yeah, actually they could be powered up a fair bit with Bless with Filth, and Wither could be helpful. Yeah, alright, we'll pop you into Ickbolt's army first. Let's see, you and you, unstable Skaven slaves can form into one unit. Like so. And, oh, I should have probably deleted the other one because it was tier 3, eh? Whatever. We'll delete it later. For now, you can pop in here and do some good old-fashioned scouting. Frankly, we should use Army of Darkness. Armor of Darkness. In this particular, or Veil of Shadows. Not Veil of Shadows, wait. You know the thing I mean, right? The spell, the good spell, I'm blanking on the name. Oh, it is Armor of Darkness. Okay, I'm not blanking on the name. This is why you don't doubt yourself, people. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Let's do the fighting, shall we? I guess we'll just attack this army and just manually fight it, and then this one we'll do cinematic, because, you know, one of them's stronger than the other. You, go for Deadly Onslaught. You have your range capabilities actually more or less maxed out. I guess we could get you Scarred Veteran and Ruin and Decay. Does nothing when fighting orcs, funnily enough. But at least get Scarred Vet. Could probably get the speed for you as well. You two, little fellas. We are the elite, which is the main thing. We could go through Shadow for the additional success chance, but I think we'll get Assassin's Trophy first, because it's a fairly nice debuff that we could potentially apply to Lords. The constant debuff might have helped assassinate Boris Ursus when we tried it. No guarantee, but the possibility existed. Anyway, we could grab Crack's Call, and yeah, I think out of this we should probably do so. Let's do that, and then Obscythish Sorcerer. We have Armor of Darkness maxed out. Let's get you Arcane Conduit via Brittle Bone and Black Whirlwind. Actually, frankly, maybe we should double up on Brittle Bone so we could overcast it and slow enemies down. Should be useful for this army. Speaking of this army, go kill Huglug. And we could auto-resolve it. I'm a little bit wary of how much... Oh, actually we can't auto-resolve it. It'll kill off this one Brood Horror. Specifically, why you? You don't have the debuffs. Interesting. Not important, but interesting. Alright, let's just quickly manually fight this, and then we'll cinematically fight the other one. I was gonna fight this little fight between the episodes, but then, I don't know, it's gonna take an extra minute. It's probably not gonna be a big deal. We'll just speed through it. It's the other army that has 3 giants, which, with their massive missile resistance, should be something of an issue, at the very least more than this army should be. Alright, start deployment. We've got the enemy deployed. Where's the giant? It is on this side. Alright, so we'll deploy on this side as far away from same said giant as possible. We'll put you guys up front, as we usually do. Like so. Maybe knock out those, like that. Knock out those boar chariots before they can do anything. Let's pop in you 4 like this. And like this. They will immediately get enough range, I believe, because we will pop in the Warlock Engineer like so, and get ready to immediately pop off his buffs. And the melee line, melee-ish line, we'll pop in you. Assassins like so. We'll leave the Ixus Triads on the flanks to protect against any enemies, and then the Pet Brood Horrors will get ready to, well, move on in as needed. Like so. Who did I forget? I forgot the Eshin Sorcerer, didn't I? Where are you, little guy? Here you are. Alright, you can kind of hover in the center of this. Anyway, let us turn off skirmish mode for obvious reasons, and then we'll take all of you guys and make you group 1. And I think that's all. Yes? Yes, alright. Start. Buff. Move. Everybody starts firing, and the enemy will start moving, but probably not for long. First of the enemy units is already in pretty bad shape. You guys have the range, or at least some of you have the range. Just keep on firing until the enemy moves forward. Now, like so. The enemy does have some artillery, but it's not any of any real threat. Let's launch a Doom Rocket at... maybe not the artillery, right? Oh, you're not in range, but just stay where you are. Alright, and then you guys back off now. The damage is relatively minimal. And maybe go to the side like this. I see some boar boys over on that flank. We got another summoning of enemy bony boys, I take it. It is the Bonerattlaz after all. Alright, you guys now back off. Man, I don't like the way I did that. Alright, let's back off slightly. Enemy doesn't really know what to do, although, ooh, they're gonna hit us back and, oh, hit the poor Brood Horror. That is so rude. Poor little fella. Alright, how are we doing? Yeah, enemy, they're probably trying to keep pace with the giant, which is gonna be rather slow. I don't think that one's gonna work out too well, to be perfectly frank. And all the while, our slingers be slinging away. Alright, reposition slightly, but keep chucking those shuriken at the enemy. And we could get a Warp Star going, or even a Brittle Bone on, let's say, these guys are in the center of this. Like so. Slow them down a little bit. Brittle Bone will be, let's see. Brittle Bone upgraded minus 25 speed. Oh, I didn't actually hit the giant with it. Actually, I did hit the giant with it. Good job, Ruinous. Alright. Alright, and now we have the artillery remaining, but not much else. You also got to remember the enemy is in march stance, so this, well, for obvious reasons, that means it's gonna be pretty darn weak. Let's get the unit of Ixus Triad clones up and running. Let's move the other units around. And what do we have on the next ballistics calibration soon? Alright, you guys get ready to kill off all of those poor goblin bolt throwers. And maybe everybody else will move up closer. Ah, it's gonna hit the... Oh, it's gonna hit the Brood Horror again. And it's so rude. Alright, just keep annoying the enemy. There's little enough they can do about any of this. Minus the fact that we're basically out of ammunition, but we can run down the enemy artillery. Alright, in fact, there we go. Assassins, it's time to go. You guys move on in to kill the enemy lord. You guys turn off your range attacks, or turn off auto attacks, rather. You guys run this down. You guys run this down, and let's kill this little fella. Alright, Looming Dread for the enemy lord, and then buff yourself up. What do you hit damage-wise? Weapon strength? Not too bad. And there we go. No problem at all. The giant will be brought down, missile resistance or not, and then the enemy lord will be cut down by the assassins. They're in march stance, so yeah, really... You guys are really having that much of a tough time? I think it's because they're too fast. Yeah, they really need to work on this. You see how these guys kept running around the effectively defenseless shaman for like 8 years, while the shaman did absolutely nothing. Yeah, a couple of kids should have ended it, but because they're too fast, it's just... I don't know, I feel like it shouldn't work that way. You being very quick on your feet shouldn't hamper your ability to kill the enemy, especially since, realistically, you should be able to control that speed, and especially, Hessian assassins should be particularly adept at it, or something like elves or anything like that. But anyway, it's not like they got that super speed yesterday. They've been training with it their whole lives. A little short, though, those lives may have been in the Skaven's case, but you know what I mean. Alright, come on now. See, with the mount, with horses, it makes a little bit more sense, because it might be difficult to, you know, just stop, but, you know, anyway. Or at least maneuver. We're not so damaged that I think we care. On the other hand, we're about to find another fight, so maybe we could just heal up. Just heal up, why not? Alright, enemy killed in battle, we've leveled up a little bit. This fight will be fighting cinematically after that. You can reinforce, I think, just to leech a little bit of that XP. And Kronid can move on in, and then... I guess we'll want to attack Dushika, or maybe even besiege Dushika. Oh, I wonder if we'll be in range. That'd be really nice if we were in range, but I fear that we won't be. We'll see. Okay, none of the ones that mattered really leveled up. Let's get a second point in Crack's Call. I don't think we'll be using it in this particular battle, but I do want the Assassin's Trophy up and running. And I want you to strike again. 3 giants should be a considerably bigger issue for us. Close victory, medium casualties this time, and 3 giants as well as a feral wyvern, plus the goblin rock lobber is going to be a bit more of a threat than the bolt throwers are. And hey, they've got a black orc unit, plus of course the undead wa. Well, good luck to them. Go. Alrighty, here we go. I like how the tiny little assassins are quite difficult to pick out from the regular troops. It feels like it makes sense to me, but anyway. I wish we had been able to fight both of these armies at the same time, this one and the previous one, but this one should still be a fair bit more difficult with the 3 giants, the feral manticore, the... feral wyvern, rather, and the black orcs and all that. We'll see how they do. Anyway, since the enemy is waiting for its little wall, or was waiting for its little wall, which is already on the... Look at the little rats run forward. Scurrying forward so quick. Anyway, we gotta get to move on towards the enemy army, since they were all the way back here, and thus we weren't able to immediately start firing upon them at the start of the battle. It's all good though. Looks like the enemy will charge towards us with those boar boys, but they are slower than us, so it's a simple matter of backing off a little bit, summoning a unit of menace below, who immediately gets hit with the brain burst. Man, the AI reacts so quick. As soon as you can't even see the models yet, and the brain burst is already being cast. At least the AI does have some advantages in that regard, with being able to process its moves like that. Anyway, the units didn't do too much, but they did stop a few of the enemies in their tracks, and it stopped those boar boys for a few seconds, or half a second maybe, and allowed us to go for those shuriken and slings to knock them out. Otherwise, the bounce power has shifted to, let's say 70-75% in our favor. We're going to try to focus down that wyvern, who is going to drop. Surrounded here by the decoy units of the Ixchus Triad. It's going to try to escape now, but it hardly matters as it's got barely any HP. And we've got a few other things that we can focus down. Some Night Gobs move on in. There's another rocket screaming towards the enemy lines from our engineer. Oh, I do wonder how much damage you've done. Just through rain. Wow, okay, basically nothing. Never mind. I guess you gotta rely on those warp lightnings to actually do the damage. And the enemy is also obviously chasing the, well, sort of close quarters elements of our army. In fact, interestingly, it sent all 3 of its giants towards this portion of our line, which I guess makes sense since we have all 3 of our assassins as well as all 3 brood horrors here, and unfortunately we haven't gotten more than one of those engineers' knapsacks, so that means we only have 1 unit with reload on it, and the shuriken, they go really fast. Could really use a few more in the way of upgrades or some things in order to give them more ammunition. If we had a spare engineer capacity, I'd give them another one, but it is so dang difficult for the Skaven to get engineers. But what can you do? Anyway, bounce power hovering around 80-85%. The giants are by and large being ignored, and well, that's obviously with a purpose, as the shuriken wouldn't do enough damage to them to be of concern. We'll leave that to the slingers, and in the meantime we can overrun and obliterate every single unit other than the giants here. Here, some unit of clan rats is working on those gobbo crews of their rock lobbas. And of course the giants are gonna be whacking away at all those clan rats, but we hardly care. Oh, wow, that's brutal. Otherwise, it looks like the enemy lord has drawn close enough at last. Those magics won't save the savage or great shaman as he loses his head in a huge volley of sling bullets and or pellets. And Black Orcs also similarly finally brought low. And despite all that armor of theirs, probably could have benefited from the sword and board variant a little bit more than the shield, or the great weapon variant, rather. Now it's just pretty much the giants on the field and nothing else. Bounce power is at about 10% in their favor, so... Actually, I would say that the 3 giants represented a lot more of the enemy's strength here than the rest of the army did, in fact. Which is interesting, but I guess the auto resolve doesn't really recognize that, especially considering we have no more shuriken ammunition, and it's going to take a fair bit of work and effort to bring down those giants. Unfortunately for them, they're too slow to actually get to us. This does feel very appropriate in the way that we are bringing down this portion of the enemy army, however. Skaven are pretty cowardly and they don't fight fair, and well, it works. Oh, minus the ones that die when the giant's corpse topples upon them. A second giant will fall and the last one will shatter. Probably won't get run down as it is just at the edge of the map, but there we are. Once again, Krokronid's army very much victorious. Alright, there we go. Minimal losses similar to the previous battle. Primarily, I'd wager from the enemy artillery. The giant got some kills, but I'm pretty sure that that was due to a summoned unit of clan rats on that particular giant, so yeah. This army is pretty darn devastating. Keep in mind, this is without Deathmaster Snitch buffing the heck out of these guys, which you would normally do. Anyway, we're not going to bother healing this time around. I think we'll just... yeah, we'll just sell them off. And we're going to have to chase them down, though are they still viable army-wise? Let's see. If they attack Yaren, they might still be able to attack Yaren. We can't reach Dushika anyway, so I guess, yeah, we just chase them down. Alright, fair enough. Annoying though it may be, we'll go after Mr. Gouger here, and we'll do him the honor of gouging him personally. Like so. Alrighty, and then this time we can just heal up to full. Beautiful. We cannot reach Fort Ostrosk. I take it Hellkeek the Insane also cannot. Your mana is full as well. And I guess we'll want to proceed down to Dushika to raise it. If you go this way, no, Slicin can go to this place. Somebody needs to take Fort Ostrosk, but I guess it's going to have to be one of these guys. The other option would be to go here. get a bunch of Skaven slaves, and then... maybe. Alright, start building Skaven slaves. At least for this particular turn, and then I'll think about it. Anyway, that's all that we had to do this turn, as we did the building last turn / episode, so I believe we're free to end the turn. End. Alrighty, Wapfails, Bloody Spears, Don't Care, Dimmed Suns as well, Master Mason, another Bell Polisher, Technology Research, Action, Success Chance, a free Undercity in somewhere, Gipfel. You can immediately go for the Subterranean Pit, because those are the ones that we build everywhere, and then, oh wow, look at that. Huh. Are these primarily Chaos Runes? Yeah, I take it the Changeling is doing most of this. Oh wow, the Legion of Setup, down to 6 settlements. They are not doing well at all, are they? Sucks to be them. Sucks to have been them soon. Anyway, Throt the Unclean. Hello, what do we have here? Drika's going after the Broken That Gully. Well, she's free to take it or destroy it. I'd love to fight her here, but I think we want to finish up with Karak-Kadrin here before we go further. And while we do want to hunt down Drika, she'll then immediately turn upon these relatively undefended territories, which I'm thinking that we don't want. We can always catch her later. And I want to grab that Nemesis Crown from her as well. Anyway, go to Fallen King Mountain here, please, Throt. And get on your way to Karak-Kadrin itself. We could auto-resolve it. Not a lot of damage, but we wouldn't be able to heal, so I think rather than raising, we'll just loot and occupy the place and then either abandon it or trade it to somebody. Hey, a free Armor of Destiny, very nice. Don't collect the income. And we could trade it to the Yorks, we could, well, actually, no, that would probably piss off the Chaos Dwarfs. I'll think about it, or we just abandon it. I can still probably get money from them, though. I'll think about it. Alrighty. The Scheme of Doom, Unique Warlock Engineer Hero, yes, thank you. And that should be on top of Mr. Throt. Mr. Titcha, to you, go establish a Warlock Laboratory. The question is where. We could pop it into Karazakarak, though I wonder if it'll survive. It does amuse me, the idea of putting one of these in Karazakarak, though I will admit, so maybe go down there. Thorgrim's, I mean, if Thorgrim was a stronger faction, I would have probably tried to go for him. I wonder how much, not a lot of money. I would have probably gone for him in terms of taking him out, in terms of trying to acquire more good battles, but he's not doing so well. Ooh, Ungrim, you're back with a full stack already. I guess you are back earlier than I thought. All right, good for you. And we'll see how long you can keep that up. Now, Card Trick was the next thing that we wanted to do, and then into Expedited, which needs the Underway Crossroads, which were being constructed, and, wait, did she lose the Nemesis Crown? I see the dig site's back up. If she lost it, it might be a nice final battle for Mr. Throt. Why did I click down here? Oh, right, the Underway Crossroads, you. Build that up. Expensive though it may slightly be. Crocronade, you can now besiege Dushika, and I'm 99.9% certain that they will sally out, so we'll do that. Like so, because, I mean, lots and lots of Blackworks monsters, Savage Giant, Ragnarok Spider, Trolls, lots of big uns, and then still that Undead Wa. I'm sure they will once again choose to underestimate Crocronade's army, but I'm also sure that it'll continue to bite them. Anyway, Hellkeek, you can grab a few more of those Skaven slaves. I think one more set should do, whereas Mr. Mutant will proceed to Boilerer. And then go after Kzarla right after. Hopefully we can auto-resolve this ambush. I think we can. Ooh, let's hope that this doesn't damage the Doom, or... a little bit damage. A little bit more than I'd like, but that's always the case, isn't it? And then Kzarla we cannot reach. Oh. Game. I should have gone into March Stance and had Slice and move on in and... Okay, wait, 1 second. There's somebody at my door, apparently. Alright, sorry about that. Since we can't take Kzarla this turn, we'll take it next turn. Wait, actually we can! Huh, I didn't realize that you were actually still in range of it. Perfection. Alright, well, Slicin', and that's you. What's our Pyrrhic... Oh, really? This... Alright, we're gonna have to manually fight this. Man, I wish I had checked that between the cuts, but whatever. Too late. What's our public order here? We can just immediately occupy it. It'll be fine, even without raising it, I think. And best to save on the time. Alright, manual fight this real quick it is. Alright, come on now. I'm sure the Doom Flayers will doom just fine. And... oh. I wonder if the enemy... oh, we're coming in on this side. Won't be able to take as much advantage of our artillery that way, will we? Well, I guess we'll see. Yeah, I'm on. Alright, real quick. Start deployment to go here, start battle, and max speed on through it. You go out here. I take it the enemy is going to respond to the incoming new forces and ignore poor little Slicin here. And that's alright. It does mean no Slicin for him, but... wait, you know what? Move here. I'm a little bit worried that they might get stuck out there, and probably best not to arrive in the big old pile of water either. Alright, 10 seconds, nearly there. There we go. Once again, I find myself wishing that there was like a 8 times faster thing, or an even faster thing. Alright, you guys can be group 2. You... oh, okay, some of you guys are gonna get enraged. The Skaven slaves, I mean. And speed it back up to, well, if not max, just a little bit more. Where the heck are the rest of the troops? Is this one raging unit of Skaven slaves in the way of all the other troops coming in onto the map? Is that what's happening here? That's what's happening here. Well, screw you too, game. Alrighty, well, let's get everybody into position. And Warp Lightning Cannons, just set yourselves up nicely on this hill. And let's get you guys right here. You can maybe be Group 1, part of Mutants. Group Mutant, get ready to lead the charge. Alrighty, and then Eshin Triads, get ready to protect the units here and speed it back up to max. Let's move the Eshin Sorcerer in. We can slowly get slicing on the way here. You go after this unit of Boar Boys, you go after this unit of Boar Boys, and we'll see. Enemy ready to move towards us yet? As soon as they do, we'll summon our first unit of Clan Rats and then jump on in with some of those Skaven slaves. As in rush them towards the enemy line, or, well actually, we'll see. And give it a moment. Alright, come on now. You wanna... huh, what are you doing? What are they doing? I guess they really don't want to move towards us. Alrighty, well, you're gonna lose your Boar Boys. That's basically the only thing you have, which is of any kind of real threat to us here. Maybe your magics as well. Huh. Are they trying to make use of the tree cover? It's kind of curious to see. Oh, either way. Alrighty, let's charge on in for a few seconds and maybe do one of these. There we go. Alright, charge on in, annoy the enemy a bit, and then get out of there. There we go. I just wanted to make sure that the army moves towards us. Ooh, as soon as we summon those units of Clan Rats, the enemy will move towards us with, or will pop a brain burst on them. And we could just charge on back in. Let's actually separate the units a little bit like so, and then charge on through. And then same with you. There we go. Oh, that's obnoxious. And then we get out to prevent our units from taking any damage. And now that we've gone out, we go back in. Is it, maybe perhaps... Slaanesh favors us more than the Horned Rat, but anyway, there we go. Charge on in, and how's those Boar Boys looking? Well, one's out, the other one's being chased around. Let's target that poor Orc Shaman there. Alright. Alright, you guys use your mass to continue breaking that. Okay, you know what? They're not moving towards us, are they? Alright, Clan Rats, Skaven Slaves move forward. Let's have the Pack Masters move on into. You guys can follow suit. And keep annoying the enemy with the summons. How we doing? Alright, you charge on through, you charge on through as separate groups. Frankly, it probably would have been more efficient to operate them as multiple different groups. Like so that they don't charge in a single blob, but it does allow them to take a little bit more advantage of their mass. There we go, move on in. I guess we could let them fight for a few seconds. Let them fight for a few seconds before charging on out. I do like watching them spin, and this is kind of their fight. How's the HP looking? Still pretty okay. You can pop that Opal Amulet just in case, and maybe pop off a Warp Lightning right here. Okay. The Warp Lightnings will be dangerous to our own units, so let's stop firing now in case they hit one of the Doom Flayers. But otherwise, they're doing a good job flaying everything here. And another Brain Burster comes down on one of the summoned units once again. And frankly, it looks like the enemies are pretty much done for. Huh. How quickly would you be able to kill a shaman, just out of curiosity? Surround. Oh, he's gonna shatter, isn't he? Well, I guess that's kind of what we wanted anyway. But just out of curiosity, I mean, this isn't what they're for, and unsurprisingly, it looks like they're not really doing any damage to him. But yeah, they're fine. They did plenty of damage to everybody else. 135 kills, 25,000 damage. They 181 kills, 31,000 damage. Very, very good work. Decisive victory, and 3 losses. Huh. Maybe one of the Skaven slaves died somehow? Who died? The Skaven slaves didn't get into the battle. Maybe they got hit with an arrow or charged by a boar boy or somebody. It could also have been friendly fire. Maybe one of the warp lightnings hit one of them as they were on approach to the enemy army. I would not be surprised. Oh, you know what I should have done? Probably should have spent some of the food because I think we're maxed out. I probably could have used another little bit of food in the growth lab, in the lab, flesh lab, whatever. Not that it'll matter over much. Alright, come on now. And 3 losses, loot not occupied. Lovely. What are we at here? 99%, so yeah, we are at max food once again. Svedora, let's go into expansionist planning. And I guess we'll, you know what, just upgrade it to tier 5. Well, we'll do it next turn, but we will build the storage caves here. And there we go. I've been annoyed about this, about them having a Kzarla for a while now. Anyway, I love a little bit of work from Mutant, but he's a legend for a reason, so that should hardly be of any surprise. Crocronid, you're fine as you are. Skittis, you are heading down towards Aesir Pass, so keep on doing so. In fact, go this way. There's no more of these guys there. Nope, it's just the Throg, who doesn't want a defensive alliance. I mean, he did, but then we, you know, tanked our reliability, but it had to be done. Anyway, Thankful, you are headed to Fort Skehold. Like so, and I get Pustich is gonna follow. He's supposed to trade the troops with another army because he has the front line ran. We could get him life is cheap as well. And buff up those Skaven slaves. Alright, Skit twice and Bilefitch, all of you 3 basically. You 3 are going to... What's the likelihood that these guys are suddenly declare war and attack them? This is just Skaven slave piles, so there's nobody to do damage here. They're just supposed to help another army out. And you know what? Maybe just sit here for a turn or 2. We'll see how the other little armies react. Or we could go this way. We still need to move towards Draika's territory, but if we want to catch these guys, we might want to be able to move together with Throt, so just wait. We shall see. Anyway, maybe I could have had them collect food instead of channeling. It's not like we really care about their mana. Oh, wow, actually, maybe we do. Never mind. Mormel, we do care about what you're doing now, so... go over here and get ready to move. We'll send you to Draika. Medible Hemlock, you are... unable to move. What the heck is up with you? Okay, I don't know what's up with him and why he's unable to move, but whatever. Let's move you here. And let's move Ickbolt in. Huh. Yeah, you can't recruit a lord here either. Huh, there's something broken about this settlement. Maybe it was oh. Huh, I wonder if these guys are stuck. Yeah, see, this guy can't move. Maybe what happened is that this was a ruin with the enemy on top of it, and then it, when we colonized it, it bugged out, essentially. I mean, that's the only guess I have as to what the heck is going on and why it won't work. But anyway, you guys are now fine. Ickbolt is who again? Alright, you. You are going to go and take Predeshina real quick, or raise it maybe. Anybody will die here? Doesn't look like it. We'll take a little bit of damage, but not enough for us to be concerned with a raise. Alrighty, and I really wanted to summon a lord there, but whatever. All good, and then you can channel for the turn and then move to Ngalia afterwards. Anybody else need anything? And Geralt, yes, you are going to go here to Fort Straghoff and colonize it like so. Lovely. It's just spent the entire campaign as a ruin ever since we went purposely over here to destroy it, hoping that a ruin barrier would prevent other enemies from moving on in, but or Boris Ursus from crossing the ruin barrier, but it didn't work out. Oh well, what can you do? A rat flesh cutter. A rat. I love that name. I could besiege Beckhofen. A giant pile of Skaven slaves, but a few other units. What we do need to do is trade Bilefitch he's the boom master, right? Alright, so Bilefitch, go right here. Come to ambush stance right here. Actually, right here. And then we'll swap you. Some of these rat ogres and plague claw catapults. Plague claws and catapults, and we'll have you build some more catapults, maybe? Bilefitch lose some of those Skaven slaves, I don't really care which ones. Like so, and then... Okay, this is way too many rat ogres, but we'll transfer them back if needed. You can grab engineering skill, I guess. A reload time reduction is going to be swell, and that'll combine with Boom Master as well. These guys don't have veterancy, unfortunately, but, well, we'll deal with it. You Contagic, we could use you to recruit some Warp Lightnings for the Boom Master there. Man, it's not like you're doing anything. Alright, fine, and get rid of 3 Skaven slaves like so. Get him, let's go 3 of those, and do we have capacity for Poison and Mortars? Maybe we do 2 and 2. They're kind of similar to the other artillery. And the Boom Master doesn't actually apply to them, but nonetheless, it feels like we should have some in a artillery contingent. Oh, how much did those cost? What the heck? A moment. 4,000 gold and... Okay, you know what? Let's wait on that a little bit. There might be buildings to be building, and I'm sure you'll be fine here if you need to be. Otherwise, let's see if anybody else needs to do anything. I wish those guys were together in this list, or that you could tie them together somehow. Anyway, folks, I think with that, I'm going to call the episode here. There's a bunch of heroes to move around and recruit, and I think that's better done in between the episodes, so I will do that. When we come back, we'll end the turn, or maybe I'll just end the turn between the episodes, and then we will continue onward towards the destruction of the Urson Revivalists, and... Oh, these guys will sally out and attack Recronate. So yeah, we'll end the turn at the start of the next episode and have a big old fight against the orcs. This is probably going to be a major portion of their strength, and I do wonder whether they'll beg for peace afterwards. Yeah, alright, nearing the end of the campaign now. I'd say a few more episodes to go, as this will, well, once we conquer this portion, that'll be it, especially since everything north of us essentially is our ally, with the exception of the dwarfs here, but they're basically at war with everybody around them, so they're not having a good time. Anyway, a little bit more Throt to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.